If having a picture clicked in front of this board is your primary reason for a Ladakh trip, I'm sorry to say this board has been removed from Kardungla top.
Oh, hell no!
Border Road Organizations, or BRO in short, a part of the Indian Army who built Kardungla, got it removed a few years back. Not because they don't want to give you that picture, but because Kardungla actually is not the world's highest motorable road. If that is not shocking enough, well, as of 2024, Kardungla is not even in the top 10 highest motorable roads in the world.
No! God, please, no! No!
Oh, yeah, that's true. Over the last few years, I've seen people peeping in all corners of Karatungla top, searching for that board and not able to find it, and many of them disappointed. But that's the hard fact. You will not find that board on top of Karatungla anymore. That's because there were two errors in the board. Firstly, as I said, it's not the highest motorable road. And second, Kardungla's actual height is not 18,380 feet. In fact, it is 17,582 feet. So, was it a lie? Well, before we get to that, let's understand why the high pass was built in the first place. Most of us know the fact that India was on war with both China and especially Pakistan between the 60s and the 70s. And one of the most prominent one was the Indo-Pakistan War of 1971. After those wars, India was forced to connect the northern frontiers of Nubra Valley and, more importantly, the highest battlefield in the world today, the Siachen Glacier, to mainland India. But if you look at this map, you can see that there is a wall of high mountains splitting Nubra and Siachen from Leh. So the white patch that you see here, it's all 5,000 plus meters peak, and it was mandatory to build a pass across it to reach the other side, and that's why BRO built Kardungla. Initially, it was used only by the military, but later, especially after 1988, civilians were allowed to cross it. The people of Nubra Valley could now travel between their home and Leh and hence to the other parts of India. If you've traveled to Kardungla before the early 2000s, you would have seen this board. This was the old board, and there came the problem. Back in the 70s, when we had no GPS or satellite imaging, the height of Kardungla top was measured as 18,380 feet. But now, with modern aerial imaging, we know that the actual height of the pass is 17,582 feet or 5,359 meters. This figure is now confirmed by advanced space-borne thermal emission and reflection radiometer global digital evaluation model, or simply called ASTER GDEM. So I can see that Kardungla falls well below the 18,000 feet benchmark, and today in 2024 there are 6 mountain passes above 18,000 feet. The modern accurate figures reveal another surprise. Changla at 17,586 feet, which was acclaimed to be the second highest motorable road in the world, is actually 4 feet taller than Kardungla. Some people argue that passes like Fotila and Kaksangla have been built recently, and before that, Kardungla was the highest motorable road in the world. Well, again, not true. Now, let's talk about the second highest motorable road in the world as of 2024. It's in Utruncu, Bolivia, and it stands a bit short of the 19,000 feet mark at 18,953 feet. That road was built back in the 1950s to connect a sulfur mine at the top of a mountain. Even though the mine was shut down long back, the road is still open and cyclists do reach the top even now, and some SUVs make it to the top. So the truth is, Kardungla was never the world's highest motorable road. So did the BRO promoter lie? Well, I don't think so. See, for a country like India back in the 70s and 80s, crawling up through two wars just after independence, building a road that high was undoubtedly an achievement. And besides, those days, news did not travel that far and fast. So they believed there was nothing to challenge Kardungla. And besides, I believe the acclaimed 18,380 feet height was more of a measurement error than an outright lie. And to talk of BRO, out of the top 13 highest motorable roads in the world, only 3 are outside India, and they have built roads where it's seemingly impossible, like the Girtidobla Cliffhanger and the Kilar Kishtwar Highway. So is Kardungla worthless? Well, not at all. See, it might not be the highest motorable road in the world, but to compare, Kardungla is just 5 meters short of the south face of the Everest Base Camp in Nepal and about 200 meters taller than the Mount Everest Base Camp's north face. Besides that, if you look beyond the board, there's a lot more to Kardungla than its falsely acclaimed title. From the top, you look on the south side, you get to see all the way till the Stockangri range, which is bordering Zanskar. And on the north side, you see the vast stretch of Karakoram. So I guess a 360-degree view of some of the world's most magnificent mountains is worth way more than a board. I know what many of you might be thinking right now. So if Kardungla is not even in the top 10 and Utrunku is the second highest motorable road in the world, which is the first? Well, the highest motorable road in the world is again in Ladakh, and we'll see where it is in the next video next week. So until then, travel more, travel safe. I hope I earned your subscription with this one. See you, buddy.